bread man down, clean up on aisle podcast.
Welcome to Clean Up on Aisle podcast, the dirty truth about grocery stores. I'm Jeff Harmetz. I'm a radio host and journalist out of Joshua Tree, here with my co-host, Adam Fligston, musician and composer out of Los Angeles. And today, we're joined by our very special guest, Lyndie Greenwood, a good friend and actor based out of Pioneer Town.
Yeah, Pioneer Town. Valley.
What would you say, Yucca?
I don't know. It depends on my mood. We're somewhere in the middle.
All right.
Yeah.
We are recording out of a radio station here in Joshua Tree, and we're very excited to dig in and talk all about grocery stores. Hello, Adam.
Hello, Jeff. How are you doing?
I'm wonderful. I'm so excited to just dive in. I'm like, I just walked into a grocery store. It's a whole wide world for me. And the veggies are on the right, and they're definitely like telling me to go in a particular direction, but I'm going to go in the opposite direction. We're going to go against the flow here on the show today.
Meaning you're not going to talk about groceries?
We're never 100% going to talk about grocery stores. It's such a big topic. It's such a big place. I'm excited to just be digging in and finding out so much more about grocery stores. I want to start off by asking our guest today, Lyndie. I know you in real life.
You do?
Yes. And I know that you are an international person and you've lived all over the United States and well, I don't know about all over Canada, but you lived in Canada.
Yeah, no, I was born and raised in Toronto, but that's the only place I've ever lived in Canada.
Okay. I know you've worked in Vancouver a lot.
Worked in Vancouver a lot. Yeah, my mom lives in Whitehorse in the Yukon, so I've been there. You know, I've been all over Canada, but just lived in Toronto.
All right.
Yeah.
I am very excited to hear about the types of grocery stores that you've visited in your adventures across North America. But first of all, I want to get into your sense of how you shop. Are you a once a week shopper? Are you an everyday shopper? How often do you go to the grocery store?
Oh, well, now that I live in the country, I am I'm like a once a week shopper, and I kind of have, if I have the time, and I like to have the time because I love a grocery store, I will go to like the discount store first to see what I can get. And then I will like supplement that by going to the big chain grocery store. When I was in Toronto, I really loved going to the grocery store sort of once a day. I'd go to the tiny markets in Kensington Market where I worked. But we don't have that option here.
So I want to take a step back real quick. When you're saying discount grocery stores, and we're going to name names.
We are going to name names.
Clean Up on Aisle podcast. We're here to say it all. This is the dirty truth about grocery stores. What, in your opinion, counts as a discount grocery store?
Well, the one that I frequent and very much enjoy is called Grocery Outlet or Grocery.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Those of us who are familiar.
Absolutely. I know, Adam, you're a big Gross Out fan as well.
I love it, although I don't like that name for it. It feels kind of insulting, but I do love it.
We insulted because we love it.
Exactly. It's like a family member or something, you know?
Sure. Yeah.
And when we're talking about discount grocery stores, like, I do want to make the specific distinction because, like, Grocery Outlet is a discount grocery store in the sense that they get remaindered stuff and then they sell it at a lower price. So we're thinking of it as discount, but like, I think for a lot of people, like a Dollar General is more of a discount grocery store, right?
Yeah, I guess that's true. But do they really have, well, they don't have any produce. Can you be considered a grocery store if you don't have produce?
That is a good question. When I first moved back to Los Angeles, do you remember the 99-cent only stores? Rip in peace to those no longer with us. I think they all kind of went under in the last year, if I recall.
Yeah.
But I was surprised to pop into one of those and like see that they had a ton of fresh produce.
Oh, really?
When I started cooking and catering in Los Angeles, the overseers, the money men, were like, you better go shop at that 99-cent store. If you're buying bananas, I better see that they only came from the 99 cents only store. So...
Some of it is very similar to Grocery Outlet, where it's kind of they don't have the nice Grocery Outlet produce section. They just kind of have the stuff in the front, if that makes sense.
Well, damn, I've been sleeping on that. I did just recently go to the dollar store for medications. I had no idea that was a thing. You can get the same ass meds,
really,
for like, well, $1. Not $1, but you know.
So getting back to your habits, and I'm similar to you. I'm a every single day grocery store shopper. I switch it up. I go to some days, you go to different grocery stores every day. Locally, I'm pretty Catholic. When I'm down the hill, I go to fancy stores. But there's definitely, when you go to a grocery outlet or a gross out Sorry, Adam. We don't want to offend.
It's all right. I can handle that.
But what is the kind of things? I mean, it's very hit and miss with what they've got.
Yeah.
So what are the things that you're finding that they don't have that you kind of have to go to a quote unquote more normal grocery store?
Yeah. It really depends on the day. I mean, sometimes it's surprising what they will have. My instinct was to say anything like ethnic, but actually I realized the last time I was there, I got my, soy sauce. I got my, I think I even got sriracha there the last time. But anything that, it's like usually if I have a recipe I want to make, there's like the one ingredient that I can't get it gross out. And it kind of ruins the whole.
It is always that way.
Yeah.
So you're coming in and I love that you say that you live out of town because Adam, she only lives about 15 minutes further into the desert than I do. So it's not that far.
No, it's not far out. It's
I respect
it's the country.
Yes.
I mean, I was born and raised downtown Toronto. Like I walked everywhere. I didn't learn how to drive until I was in my late 20s.
Okay. Well, I just saw you doing it on the way over here. You were doing fantastic.
Thank you very much.
But, okay, so you go to Grocery Outlet. Let's say they do not have soy sauce. You're making fried rice and you 100% absolutely need soy sauce. Are you just driving straight from Grocery Outlet to a more traditional grocery store?
Yeah.
Okay.
Although we do have an Asian grocery store that just opened here. So if it's between Thursday and Sunday, then I would probably go there to support that store.
Yes.
But usually if it's, say, a different ingredient, then I would just head over to Bonds.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have to tell you both this. We had some friends in town recently, and whenever we have guests, the first thing we always like to make for people is pizza. You all have been over for pizza night at my house.
Sure have.
And
Very good.
a friend of ours, I was going to make pizza for him and his new girlfriend, and he said, Jeff, can you not make pizza for us? We would like, every time I've been over your house, we always have pizza. Can you just do anything but pizza? I was like, I love your pizza, but not again, please.
Wow. Spoiled.
A little demanding.
I would never ask you.
Okay. Totally reasonable request. I totally get it. No shade to this person, even though I'm absolutely making fun of them on our show right now. But my partner and I were really like, what do we make? Like the girlfriend who we had never met had dietary restrictions, and we always want to be very accommodating. So we decided we were going to do a chicken chili verde. We needed a whole chicken, and we've got a lot more chicken talk to get into, but we wanted a fresh, organic whole chicken. And my partner will not, she's from Australia, she will not eat non-organic chickens. She's like,
On the side.
it is not a caliber, it doesn't meet the cut for what you would be eating in Australia. Grocery Outlet, locally, in our town, Yucca Valley, usually has the whole organic chickens. I went there, they were out. I went to a different grocery store, a larger, more traditional grocery store, major national, if not international chain. Totally sold out of whole organic chickens. I went to 4 stores in one day to get this whole chicken. And I got it, and it was worth it. It was very good. It was worth it to go get the organic one. But I'm definitely the person where if they don't have the thing that I want, I've got to go to however many stores to get the dang thing. Adam, are you the same way, or are you calling it quits after one?
I usually call it quits. I mean, I'll improvise. I mean, look, if it was the chicken or whatever, I guess you got to do it. But if it's a spice or something like that, I'll fudge it. I'll fudge the recipe a little bit.
So, Lyndie, I wanted to we're talking about a rural grocery store because you and I are very rural where we live, Joshua Tree, Morongo Basin. Totally different from what you grew up doing.
Totally different.
So, downtown Toronto, dense, one of the densest cities in North America. Is that fair to say?
Yes, it is. I think it's the 4th largest city in North America.
Okay. So what does that look? I mean, are you going to the grocery store with your parents growing up? Like, what is your childhood grocery shopping look like?
I actually grew up in Chinatown. So we had just amazing Chinese markets. My mom and my brother and I would walk there. We would grab different, fruits, live crabs, whatever you needed, and then walk home. My mom and dad are divorced. So with my dad, it was a little different. He was always kind of the driver. Like he had a car. My mom kind of didn't. She was more downtown. And so my dad would drive to the grocery store and we would drive, but kind of every day, every time we had to make dinner, we went to the grocery store first and then brought home the goods.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are these big grocery stores that they have in Toronto? Like I grew up in Los Angeles. Adam and I lived in Brooklyn together, and I was very surprised by the difference of a Southern California super large grocery store versus kind of a more urban grocery store that's a lot tinier, a lot denser to fit into the spaces. What were these grocery stores like?
Yeah, well, when I was growing up, there were sort of these denser, the smaller shops. A lot of them were mom and pop grocery stores too, little markets where you'd go for specific things. Like you'd get your fruit here, you'd get your nuts there, it was really a nice time. Now, when I go back to Toronto, there are places you can go for the bigger stores, but still, I mean, they got to fit into Toronto. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
I have a question about Toronto. This is not a grocery store exactly, but are you familiar with the restaurant that Kendrick Lamar brought up in the Drake diss? New Ho King is the name of the restaurant. Yeah. Are you familiar with this moment? It's sort of an infamous moment of Chinese food referencing.
Yes, I am.
All right, now I'm a big square, so can y'all fill me in on what's going on with this?
Well, there was a very famous beef I'm sure you heard about with Kendrick.
I'm aware. I did see it even on Super Bowl recently.
So one of the disses that is not on the new album, it was during the back and forth diss track stuff. He mentions that he gets fried rice at a Chinese restaurant, I think basically maybe in Drake's neighborhood. And the implication is basically, I'm so comfortable everywhere in the world. I go to your neighborhood and they make me delicious food. That's the truth. The joke.
Okay.
So it's New Ho King pork fried rice, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Have you had that pork fried rice?
Yeah, I mean, I believe this is the place on Spadina that, that we would go to. I mean, there are so many amazing Chinese restaurants on Spadina, but I believe that's the one upstairs that is just like pretty well known and has been there for decades and decades. Yeah. Gosh, that is brutal. It's just so mean.
So jumping back into grocery stores. So after Toronto, where did you find yourself?
After Toronto, I moved to Wilmington, North Carolina, which was the first time I sort of lived in a really suburban kind of area. Wilmington itself is a really cute little town on the Cape Fear River. So the downtown area is small, but all of your grocery shopping, you get in a car, you go to a big grocery store,
What are some of the what's the brand names of grocery stores?
I think go to Whole Foods there.
Okay.
But they have Food Lion. For some reason, I really like to say it like that. I don't know why. They have not asked me to. They have Food Lion there. What else? I know there's like something that's a little more specific.
And I know that's okay to be a Whole Foods shopper. So you were mostly going to Whole Foods when you were in North Carolina and Wilmington?
Yeah, in Wilmington. To be fair, it was pretty close to my house. Mm-hmm. And you could get organic whole chickens there.
Absolutely. And I mean, I guess this kind of brings up an interesting point. Like my partner is from Australia. She comes to America and she sees the kind of meat, some of the kind of produce that we have. And she's like, this isn't quite American produce, American meat isn't up to what we would consider to be like standard human grade edible in Australia. So she's very finicky about buying organic, eating organic. When we first started dating, we had no money, and this was like a constant source of stress for me. And I'm always trying to sneak non-organic stuff past her to save a buck.
It's just like Ben and I for sure.
But like when you would go to a grocery store, whether it was a Whole Foods or not a Whole Foods in America, like were you having that kind of culture shock?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I mean, even this is before I started really shopping here. When I would go to restaurants, I remember I was testing for this show in Wilmington before I actually booked the show. And I went to a restaurant to get a salad, like just waiting. And the salad came out with just like handfuls of shredded cheese. So it said nothing about cheese, the description of the salad. Who puts cheese on their salad?
I don't mean to disparage the South. I've never lived there, but I feel like if you're in the South, cheese is a given. If you order a salad, they don't need to say it's going to come with cheese because it's going to have cheese on.
Yeah, I know that now. But it was an awakening for me. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I feel the same way. I mean, in Toronto, it's so easy to find really good quality organic meat. And it hasn't been as easy. It seems to be getting easier out here.
In the desert, you mean, in the Morongo Basin in Joshua?
United States.
United States and Joshua, okay.
Along those lines, I'm curious how often you do go, what you say, down the hill to a more specialty store or something like that. How regular is that?
Just to clear that up, Lyndie and I live in the Joshua Tree area, and like we can drive 40 minutes down the hill to Palm Springs, where they do have Whole Foods and Gelson's, and there's like a local specialty store, Jensen's. There's a lot more. We're in a little bit of a food desert here, in the I Desert. In the Joshua Tree Desert is a food desert a little bit. So when we're talking about going down the hill, that's what we're talking about.
We're downstairs if you want to get real
Yes.
fancy. I go down the hill often because I have had some health stuff recently, and all my doctors are down there. And so every time I go down the hill, I try to also swing by a specialty grocery store just to like see it sometimes, just to like be amongst, the food, the lush food selections.
Do you which ones are you hitting? Are you going to like I know that there's a cheese shop down the hill. But I'm a big Jensen's fan, which is kind of I think there's only 3 or 4 of them, but it's a rural gourmet chain. Like they have one in Palm Springs, one in Palm Desert. I think there's one in like Arrowhead.
Yeah.
So it's not in LA, but I'm obsessed with that store.
I didn't know that. I see that store and I never bothered.
I think that's the best grocery store in like the Palm Springs area.
Oh my gosh, I'll have to start. Okay. Embarrassingly, I'll go to Whole Foods.
Okay, but there's no problem with going to Whole Foods, but I will say that the Whole Foods that we have locally in what was that in Rancho Mirage?
Or Palm Desert.
I think that's one of the worst Whole Foodses I've ever.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. I'll go to the Trader Joe's too. I mean, there is a really great Mexican meat market down there. I just can't remember the name of it. I tried to look.
But yeah, so as you came to America, you kind of just were like, I got to stick with this Whole Foods. I got to keep things organic. I got to keep things fresh and good. And I got to maintain the Canadian standard of excellence.
I mean, I try, right? Your body's used to a certain level of sustenance.
Yes.
I mean, when I moved to Atlanta, I don't think I went to Whole Foods very often there, but I did go to Kroger, which I really enjoyed.
Mm-hmm.
The one in Little Five, not the murder Kroger.
What's the murder Kroger?
Just different areas had different levels of murder.
Oh, was there many murders, or just? I mean, if one murder at a grocery store is enough to earn it the moniker, the murder Kroger.
Yeah.
But was there actually a murder there?
It's funny. I've been saying that for so long. I don't remember.
Okay. We'll have to make a note to look that up for a future episode. Maybe we'll bring you back for the murder mystery at the grocery store.
Oh, what's crossing?
So making some Halloween. Yeah. We do have It's interesting that you talk about the level of grocery stores. So I know that different grocery stores do have like those different levels of like what caliber they're achieving, which reflects the neighborhood. But as neighborhoods change, I think of the Echo Park Vons in Los Angeles, at the neighborhood in Los Angeles on the east side. It used to be kind of a downtrodden neighborhood, and now it's very gentrified. But I think the Vons has not changed in 20 years, and it is still quite dicey, badly stocked. I know disparagement to the people that work there. They're all lovely people, but like it can be harrowing. We have a friend who almost got stabbed in that Vons.
It's exact. Murder. Absolutely.
I think of that as the stabbing one.
It's stressful. Just to walk in and buy something, it is stressful. That bond.
So, of all of your grocery stores, and I know you've lived some other places, is there any other key grocery stores you want to hit? Anything exciting that you've seen in your travels and your time living around the United States and elsewhere?
Gosh, I don't know.
What's the grocery store scene like in the Yukon area?
Oh, yeah. Oh, expensive. I mean,
really?
Yeah, because the Yukon, Whitehorse it's a 24-hour drive from Vancouver. Like Canada is huge, like straight north.
Yeah.
So to get stuff there costs a lot. So everything just costs a lot more to buy. And my mom owned a restaurant for years and years. So it was a kind of a tricky situation to get all the supplies that she needed.
Now, what kind of restaurant was she operating?
She is from the Caribbean, so all of her food was sort of Caribbean influenced. It's like gourmet Caribbean.
So, and again, I my Caribbean food knowledge is a little moderate, so correct me if I'm wrong, but let's say you run out of oxtail. You can't just run to the corner store and get more oxtail if you're in Whitehorse, Canada, right?
Cannot.
So it's a lot of special ordering.
And also just being adaptable. Like Adam said, just kind of changing your plan if you can't find the oxtail.
Okay.
Yeah.
But let's say she runs out of olive oil. Can she go down to, like, how far is the drive to get more olive oil, and what's it?
24 hours. No, I guess Skagway, Alaska is a few hours away, but I don't know if that's any bigger than Whitehorse. Is a pretty well-populated city at this point. I mean, it feels as big as Yucca for sure.
Okay.
So you're not going to run out of olive oil, but yeah, your specialty foods definitely come and go.
All right. Wow. Where we live in Joshua Tree, the Joshua Tree area, Morongo Basin, as we call it at the news department. I work in radio news here. And for a while, it was like if you couldn't get those specialty items. We have a lot more grocery stores here. So when you kind of compare it to Yucca, that does give me a sense of kind of what we're experiencing or whatever. So Adam, what's the most rural situation you found yourself living in? And what was the grocery store situation like there? Was it when you were living in Yucca Valley?
Yeah, I'm sorry to say. I think it was when I was in. Oh no, that's not true. I stayed in like the rural Oregon for about a month. I was recording an album, so that was an hour to the closest grocery store. So I would go about once a week, and I would go there. There was like a little, corner store kind of market that you could go for milk or anything like that. But yeah, about once a week I would go and I would stock up. And it was a real to do to make it all make sense. And when you get back home and you forget something, you're screwed.
Yeah. I do want to ask you before we move into the big meat, all puns intended, of course, the meat of the episode.
Wait, what did I sign up for?
It seems like you are a big Whole Foods shopper, Lyndie. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I don't know. I had like a visceral reaction to being honest about that. For some reason, I feel so icky.
Well, it's changed.
It's changed. It used to be so awesome. I mean, it wasn't always owned by Amazon.
I mean, it used to be kind of the top flight grocery store. It's been a bit supplanted. We can't get into it in this episode. I've got too many opinions about Whole Foods. I've lived through a teaser for a future episode. I've lived through the Whole Foods 365 experience. I was the test market for that, and I have a lot of bad feelings about.
Oh, the one in
Silver Lake.
Yeah. That place is insane.
Yeah, well, that's a whole nother can of worms.
Okay.
But it used to be better. I assume when you started shopping there, when you were out of school and in North Carolina, it was probably a different store. How do you feel like it's gone downhill since the Amazon acquisition?
Yeah, I mean, it just feels less like, I love a natural health food store, the vibe of like, there's bulk stuff everywhere and it smells slightly musty and, it's just like, it feels like health. And now it feels like Amazon. You walk in and, I don't know, it just feels like Amazon.
Yeah, dirtier, more, I guess eye-searing, like it's more cacophonous and looking cluttered, maybe is the word I'm looking for.
It is very cluttered and it is very bright. It's everything is like, buy me.
A lot of like pop-up ads in real life at the Whole Foods.
And they literally have a little Amazon section with like clothes and like it's very specifically branded Amazon. I maybe not all of them, but
can I get a basics backpack for $20 at the grocery store?
Yeah. There's like a little corner. Yeah, it's weird.
Would you, Lyndie, one more question for you, just from the local and from your day-to-day, from your week-to-week shopping. Would you be in favor of or against an Amazon, or not an Amazon, a Whole Foods coming to the Joshua Tree community where you live and shop?
You know what? I think I'd be against it. As much as I, do go when I'm down the hill, our little shops up here don't need any more competition. And I think that it can just stay away.
All right.
Yeah.
So you're fine just driving, it's about 50 minutes to get to it from your house, maybe a little bit more, maybe closer to an hour.
It's a long time, but maybe I'll start growing to Gelson's instead.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And I'd say with that, we should dig into the meat of the show. Are we ready to talk about rotisserie chickens?
Oh,
I'm ready.
We're very early on in this program, Lyndie. We gave you kind of carte blanche. We gave you some topics to pick from, and one of them was rotisserie chickens. And you responded all in caps, so I assume you are somewhat enthusiastic about rotisserie chickens.
Didn't I? I love rotisserie chicken.
Specifically from the grocery store or rotisserie chickens in general?
Oh, in general. I mean, Toronto, we have a lot to choose from.
All right. I didn't know Toronto was a rotisserie.
What? I get. Not so what. We have a really big Portuguese population, and their rotisserie, like churrasco chicken, is like one of my favorite things in the world. And also, I don't know if you've heard of this chain, Swiss Chalet.
I have heard of it. I have heard Canadian pals talk about it. I have never
Something I was
been
raised on. I mean, we call it Dirty Bird. Some people call it Dirty Bird. I do not. I eat it and call it Dirty Bird. It's kind of like a gross out situation. But it is, yeah. So any rotisserie chicken.
What? So just to dig into Swiss Chalet for a minute, is it kind of a high-end place? Is it a chain? Is it like a Boston Market? Do you even know what a Boston Market is? That was, and this plays very much into the history of rotisserie chickens, but it was a kind of a chain that happened in the 90s. There's maybe one or two of them left.
Is it like Boston Pizza?
No, I don't know what Boston Pizza is.
Oh, that's like that's a like chain restaurant, sort of like a Chili's or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not familiar with that.
Okay.
I thought
That
that
also might be a Canadian thing, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So Boston Market was like, you would order the chicken, they would give it to you to go, or you could they'd hand it to you on a tray and you could eat it in the restaurant. Is that what Swiss Chalet is, or is it like it's a gas station? Is it you sit down and there's a white tablecloth?
No, it's somewhere in between. It is a chain restaurant. Kind of looks like their vibe is like a ski chalet sort of thing. So you go and you'll see a lot of like laminate wood on the tables and stuff. Really kind of feels like a diner, like a bigger, moodily or lit diner sort of situation. And that's rotisserie chicken. You want a quarter, half, white or dark with fries or baked potato or, veggies. And you can get stuff to go, but it's a sit down restaurant.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your order when you get a whole chicken? Or not a whole chicken. When you order a chicken restaurant, what do you get? You get half, whole.
When I grew up ordering a quarter white with fries, and they have this dipping sauce. Actually, fun fact. One of my first jobs as an actor was as the sauce stirrer in a Swiss Chalet commercial.
And did you have to go method on that? Did you go into the Swiss Chalet and train for a week or two to learn the proper sauce stirring technique?
I was so well trained already. I knew exactly the consistency of that sauce. It was so funny on set. They were like, "Nobody eat the food is covered in hairspray." Everybody put it down.
Why was it to keep people from eating it, or?
Oh, it's to make it look better. I don't know on camera. But I would always order growing up a quarter white with fries. And then one day I tried dark meat and I was like, what the fuck have I been doing? So now it's quarter dark with fries.
Okay.
Yeah.
Adam, I know you are not a meat eater these days, but did you ever have a chicken order at a chicken joint?
Yeah, I would just usually get a breast and a drumstick or whatever. I was not the most adventurous, but yeah, I used to get rotisserie chicken and munch on it for the next few days, and from the fridge, and I'm familiar. I don't currently eat it, but I'm quite familiar.
All right.
Yeah.
My partner, she's been getting into roasting chickens over the last few years. Like not every Sunday, but a lot of Sundays she'll roast a whole chicken. We're super compatible when it comes to chicken. I am a breast and wing guy, and she is a dark meat gal.
Perfect.
So when we go to a restaurant and get a chicken, or when she roasts a chicken, we're like, easy divide, no problems. We got this all sorted out.
I roasted a chicken just a few nights ago for a couple of friends. And I realized as we sat down to eat that we had not discussed who likes what. And I kind of sat there like, who's going to go for the other leg?
Yes.
But it all worked out well.
Awesome. People are civil, and you can just I'll have whatever. If I would eat a leg my least favorite part of the chicken, but I will eat a leg if guests say we would like to have the other parts of the chicken.
What about a turkey leg at like the Ren Fair? Like, do that?
I'm not a big turkey guy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Huh, neither is Ben.
It seems like a prize when you're walking around with the that thing, and you get to munch on it for a long time. I don't know. It seems like a special experience. Yeah.
Kingly.
Kingly.
That's right.
So we're not here to talk about roast chickens. We're here to talk specifically about the supermarket trend of rotisserie chickens. If you're not familiar, when not every grocery store, but a lot of the bigger chains, when you go in, they've got, some of them actually have the big spit in the back. There's people whose job there is only to roast chickens, and they'll put them out in like kind of, I don't know what you'd call it. It's the opposite of a freezer. It's like a heated section.
Shop.
Yeah. Hot.
Warm room.
I don't know. Yeah.
Hot shelf?
Hot shelf. That thing's right. And right in front, right when you walk in.
Yeah, the chicken's kind of.
Not at Costco.
Oh
yeah.
Where are they?
Back.
Really?
Because they're not making money off of that chicken. That is $5, and you get to the way they make money is that you have to walk through the Costco to get your chicken, and then you pass by the gallon of mayonnaise, and you're like, oh, I need that too.
What am I going to dunk my chicken in if not 1 gallon of mayonnaise? But Adam, I know that you've got some of like the origins of the chicken at the grocery store trend, which that's Costco, that's your Kroger's, your Vaughn's, your Stater Brothers, your Ralph's. Like, I know we've seen the same research, but when did this start?
Well, Boston Market was really the kind of epicenter for introducing the idea of the rotisserie chicken. I mean, at least in a broad sort of mass market sort of way.
We didn't have Swiss Chalet growing up, Lyndie.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Yep.
But one of the things that I've been linking it very closely to in my research is the low-fat movement, which was really popping off in the late 80s. And it has to do with a lot of, this stuff is all very contested, but a lot of recommendations that were made by, the FDA and stuff like that, and, health stuff like that in terms of how much fat do you eat, how much sugar you eat, and so on. So the world became really, really low fat, and that was difficult for people like KFC. So hence the rotisserie chicken.
Which is, KFC is where they take the chicken and then they add extra fat and then dunk it in fat. And then they serve it to you with a gallon of mayonnaise on the side as well. Usually in the coleslaw form. But
I wonder, did KFC ever try to do any rotisserie?
yeah, absolutely.
They sure did.
Forgot 100%, yes.
They did right when Kenny Rogers Roasters was getting popular. KFC immediately introduced a rotisserie. They called it something gold, like Kentucky Gold or something like that.
I didn't know we'd be talking about this. It's nowhere in my notes, and I'm having a powerful childhood memory.
Oh.
There was a small chain chicken restaurant in Los Angeles coming out of this same movement, coming out when Kenny Rogers Roasters, it was called Kookaroo. And they would do like, I don't know if it was rotisserie, it was maybe a skinless chicken. And the premise was that if we don't serve you the skin, it's got less fat because all of the fat is in the skin, of course. So it was like, it's really good, but it was that same kind of thing where I'll get, a quarter light meat and you get the side of macaroni and cheese and the little salad in the thing. I loved Kookaroo. I think it was one of the first restaurants I ever got to go to as like a little kid. And it tasted great. I was very fond memories of it. But that's totally insane to try and sell a chicken with no skin off.
Yeah, it really, really aches me out for some reason. Where did they put the skin? There's somewhere there's a bin with just a bunch of whole chicken skins.
Render it up for or sell them back to KFC, I guess.
Oh, wow, yeah. What do you call it? Craplins?
Double skin the chicken boys.
Chicken.
Colonel's double style. But I was looking at some of this and so the grocery stores kind of wanted to get in on the same market as Boston Market, right?
Yeah. So there was a specific company, actually a Canadian company. They're called Hart, HARDT. And based on my research, they seem to be exactly the right place at the right time in terms of having giant industrial roasters, the ones that we all have seen at the grocery store. And during this sort of low-fat movement, during the Kenny Rogers Roasters and the Boston Market, and they basically started to make deals with Costco, Kroger, and some Safeway, and some of the other ones. Almost as if it was like a display piece, sort of something you'd be awed at when you walked in, and it would catch your eye, and then you'd buy the chicken.
I mean, what is a rotisserie chicken machine roasting device if not like a Rube Goldberg machine, which is, if you're not familiar with those, that's like what Pee Wee Herman's breakfast is. It's like a super elaborate machine that does something like, it cooks a chicken, but you got to have it like on several axes and it's got to be moving constantly and it's super difficult to maintain.
I mean, it's hypnotizing, really.
Yes.
It's the crisper ones move to the front and they're all like glistening and dripping and you're like, oh, I just want to get in there and grease myself up.
The year I kept seeing when I was looking into this, everybody's citing 1994. They're saying 1994 is when they decided we've got to get rotisserie chickens into grocery stores.
Mm-hmm. I wonder when. So this Hart company must have also supplied Swiss Chalet. I mean, You said it's
Probably.
Canadian?
But yeah. It seems like I mean, I don't know if maybe there's some other company, but based on everything, they seem to be really the people that were supplying everybody. And just they had the machine. You wanted this thing, and they had it.
I'm speculating wildly here. This is based in absolutely no fact, but maybe they had all the Swiss chalets, and then Swiss chalet is like, well, we're not expanding to America, and Hart was like, how do we get into the American market? Maybe that's why they kind of said, let's do this in grocery stores.
Whoa, maybe it's all Swiss chalet, all.
Maybe.
But so I don't have this in my notes, but I was curious, Adam, if you knew like who was the earliest adopter of the grocery store rotisserie chicken?
So it seems to be Costco. It seems to be sort of Costco and BJ's, which is like Walmart's version of Costco. And, or no, Sam's Club. Yeah, BJ's is a different one. It seems to be them who sort of started it. And then after that, Kroger and Safeway joined in. But in a relatively short amount of time, between around 93 and is when this all, and 93, 94 is when it really sort of started to pop off.
And I know you had talked about how they're not really making any of that money at the Costco chickens because like they've always been really cheap. And I've talked about this a lot with my partner and I. When we first started dating, we had no money. And there's Gelson's is a fancy grocery store chain in Los Angeles, and they would have the rotisserie chickens. This is where I first encountered rotisserie chickens in my lifetime. I just moved back to Los Angeles from New York. I wasn't doing a lot of like the bigger grocery stores. When you're in New York, it's probably more like Toronto. It's your small corner stores, you know, the older stores. They haven't been upgraded in a million years. No offense to the Brooklyn grocery stores that, you know, I love. But,
Lovely.
you know, when we'd go to the Gelson's and we couldn't really afford much else at the Gelson's, but the chicken was still, you know, $4.99, $5.99. It's still in like 2012, I guess this would be. And part of what made these chickens really popular is that they are called what's like a loss leader. So they're selling the chickens at a low enough cost to entice people like me and my girlfriend at the time, still together, but it enticed us to go into the Gelson's and we're like, we got the chicken for cheap. I guess we can buy like a green bean salad or like some Brussels sprouts from the deli or something to make it a whole meal. And that's where they get you.
Uh-huh.
Well,
Yep.
there's another side to it. Now, there's no question about it that it's a loss leader. They're losing money in terms of what they paid for the chicken. But when the chicken reaches its sell-by date, they then have to make a decision. Do they throw it away or do they cook it and essentially give it a little more life? And that essentially is the game that they're playing. So it's not a loss leader as much as it is recouping on money that would have been thrown in the trash.
Gosh, are we actually preventing food waste here? This is like the best news I've heard in a long time.
Even on that food waste prevention thing, like even the chickens that they don't sell, they'll break those down. And a lot of stores who have the deli items will turn that into like chicken salad or use it in like, we got a kale salad with like rotisserie chicken in it. So like they are definitely extending life, which I think a lot of grocery stores are maybe not doing. So it's on that sense, it's quite good.
They'll keep it in the warmer for about 4 hours. Mm-hmm. So then after they bring it out, then that's where the chicken salad comes in.
I know that I sent you some, I don't know if you're saving this for a later part of the show, but I sent you some photographs of some expiry dates on some whole chickens locally from our grocery outlet. Mm-hmm. Does this factor in at this point?
Yeah, I mean, because that was gross out, right?
Yes.
So I mean, they don't have a rotisserie. They're just going to toss those. But those were all like maximum 2 days away from when you were taking those photos. So yeah, I mean, they just have to toss those things in the. It's actually, hold on, they don't have to toss those in the trash. There is no FDA rule that requires them to do anything in terms of this sell-by date. But it is common practice because that is when the chicken manufacturer has decided it is going to be safe up until
But how did they decide? Surely the FDA has some input on that, right?
Sort of, but not really. Some states have some rules about this, but they're very, very light. They basically, it seems like the entire system is built around people not wanting to get sued. So
This entire country.
that's right.
Absolutely.
So Tyson doesn't want to get sued. Ralph's or Stater Brothers don't want to get sued. So they make this date, and this is the most reasonable thing that they think in regular conditions it will be fine no matter what. So that's the date.
I've got this article from, it's very funny. I didn't even realize it. It's a television news station out of Tucson, Arizona. It's about how long you can leave a chicken under the heat lamp for at a grocery store. Apparently, a Tucson woman complained to news about buying the rotisserie chickens that have been under the heat lamp for too long. And I didn't even realize it at the time, but the call letters for the television station, KOLD. So I have our information about old rotisserie chickens from KOLD out of Tucson, Arizona.
Is this fake, Jeff?
It is not fake, as best I can tell. So they did talk with Amanda Anderson, the Consumer Health and Food Safety Manager from Pima County Health Department. I assume that's where Tucson is. And they're saying 4 hours is like literally the maximum. Bacteria will still, even if you keep it above 135 degrees Fahrenheit. Sorry, Lyndie, I have no idea what that is in Celsius.
I'm so confused.
But you've got to throw them away. You absolutely cannot have them out. They'll start to do the bacteria. Yeah, that's what this person, the Consumer Health and Food Safety Manager at the Pima County Health Department says. So I'm a little, I'll leave out a rotisserie chicken a little longer than perhaps.
So what do you do when you bring it home? See, this is what, if you buy a rotisserie chicken too early from the store for dinner.
Yeah.
And you bring it home and you don't want to stick it in the fridge because it's like, then it gets cold.
Yes.
But like, you got to eat it pretty quick, right?
I think so. I mean, when we were in our big rotisserie chicken eating phase, we would go to that Gelson's in Los Feliz in Los Angeles right before dinner, and we'd bring it back piping hot. I mean, I assume that they are, I'm not at the grocery store these days close to dinner time. I go, mid-afternoon typically.
Exactly.
But if I was going to go out and get some kind of hot chicken or something, I would probably go closer to dinner. I would try and time it correctly. You don't want to reheat a chicken that's already been cooked.
No.
They cook it on.
Little sad bag.
Yes.
The juice is getting all.
So this brings me to a topic that I am obsessed with. Rotisserie chickens when you go to the grocery store, you go get the rotisserie chicken, and it used to come in like kind of a plastic clamshell with a little paper handle. And they tell you the flavor that it is. Oh, is this herb and rosemary? Is this garlic, etc., whatever. And it kind of felt a little fancy, and it would collect the juices. These days, at least around here, go to the grocery store and they're selling the rotisserie chicken in a bag.
In a bag.
And that's a bummer. I don't like to eat my hot food out of a
I
bag.
don't know. It feels wrong. It feels toxic. It feels like something is, gaseous into my chicken. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, the clamshell was plastic too, but
That's true.
it felt like a little nicer. It didn't feel as...
Didn't you ever see the cardboard ones? Yeah.
Yeah.
Those were nice.
Ah,
Let's
yeah.
bring back the cardboard.
So yesterday I went to Ralph's, and the organic chickens were in the nice clamshell cardboard, but the non-organic were in the plastic bag.
Wow.
So you can just tell at a glance how somebody's doing financially, and really shaming the non-organic buyers at that Ralph's over there. I've got to tell you, they have a nickname for the rotisserie chicken in Australia. It is the funniest thing I've ever heard. My partner being Australia, she says that Australians call the rotisserie chicken the bachelor's handbag.
It's really funny.
Really kind of mean too. Like, oh, they're just gonna go home and like eat this off of a card table in front of my Xbox or whatever.
Actually, like I have a friend who lives in LA. Like rotisserie chicken is basically his meal. Like every couple of days, that's what he buys, and he always saves the little wishbone, puts it like by his sink. And so when I go over, there's like a wishbone drying.
Does he make it a necklace?
No, he just wants to do the,
Okay.
make a wish, which is sweet. But he is a bachelor, and there you go.
So, all right, I gotta ask you, Lyndie. I know that you're wild about rotisserie chickens, and are you still buying grocery store rotisserie chickens?
It's funny, if you had asked me this a few months ago, I would have said no, probably. Not that it was like a thing that I was against. I just had forgotten about them. But something has happened over the last few blessed months. They've been reintroduced.
You're in your rotissance.
Just a word.
It's like a gift you have for these puns.
So what spurred your rotisseries?
Desperation, I think, actually. It's all great Renaissance. We were going somewhere. Oh, you know what? I think it was New Year's Eve, and we were headed to a party, and we didn't have.
Is that my party? No, we did a Christmas party this year.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I wouldn't eat before going to your house. You crazy? I don't eat for days if I know I'm going to your house. I just need to, have space. So we were going to a New Year's Eve party. We were running out of time. Went to the grocery store, and like a New Year's miracle, there they were.
Which grocery store was it?
Vons.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have actually run into you at our local Vons.
That's true.
Is that your main shop at the moment?
That after gross out, yes.
Okay. And when you're getting a rotisserie chicken, because I know not all of them, not all grocery stores have all the varieties. Like,
That's true.
I know Vons has a number of varieties. They've got an organic, they've got a rosemary one, a garlic one, and then an original. Maybe that's switched up in the last few years since I bought one.
I always go original.
Okay.
Yeah, when it comes to rotisserie. It's weird. That's not normally like me. I like to branch out with flavors, but rotisserie, just give me the OG in a box.
Well, when I was a rotisserie person, and I'm not opposed to getting a rotisserie chicken from the grocery store these days, but the first thing I do, piping hot, the minute I get home, I'm going to eat the wings, right?
Yeah, me too. Yes.
Because the wings ain't no good once they're cold.
No.
That's not a part of the chicken that you want to like cool on.
Yeah, and luckily Ben doesn't like the wings, so I get him.
So let me ask this. Is there a quality issue? Like, do you ever take one home and you can tell it's just been in that box, in that heater for way too long? in the bag for way too long? Or are they generally what you expect?
So I think it was my fault. One day I had it sitting out for too long, and it became apparent that it was not as fresh as it had probably once been. But it came, out of the grocery store. It looked great. So I think really once you rotisserie a chicken, I think even your partner would probably have a hard time telling the difference between an organic and just a generic.
Oh, 100%. That's why I was trying to run that fast one on her on the young days of our dating. Absolutely. Yeah. But it's the premise of the thing, and it's what you are putting into your body at the end.
Yeah, absolutely. I would definitely choose organic, but OG as far as flavoring.
Okay.
Yeah. But also I will take a generic chicken if there's no organic left.
I do have a little bit of numbers here. Red flags to look for when you are buying your chicken at the store.
Red flags?
Yes.
Oh, no.
This comes to us from mashed.com. Michelle Washmuth put together this list of what you want to avoid when you're buying a grocery store rotisserie chicken. The chicken is lacking in color.
Oh, well, obviously.
Yeah, if it's like it wasn't cooked right, it wasn't rotisserie. Where did the grease go?
Buying a raw chicken.
And there is extra liquid in the package. So if it's like really, I wanted to talk about this. Like I'm sure you've seen when you're talking about the saltiness of the rotisserie chicken at the store, they are pumping them with saline. Like it's a brine they call it, but it's like salt water.
So good.
The chicken themselves?
The chickens themselves are getting pumped up with saline.
Or me?
Yeah, I mean, when you eat them, you're getting extra salty. That's what makes them taste good. I mean,
Yeah.
classical cooking technique is brining meat, brining chicken. But I think they're going a little bit on the extra mile to make them plumper and juicier and like steamier, more succulent. And like, when you buy stuff from a restaurant or a store, they're cooking it a way that you necessarily wouldn't do yourself.
Yeah, but what's the problem with the extra liquid? It's come out?
That means that it didn't hold the brine and it's going to be drier out of that extra liquid.
Oh, I thought it was like a condensation thing.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay.
It's definitely the goo. The temperature control issues, like if the heating, if there's like one that's like off to the side that doesn't look like it's warm, or if the heating it, we didn't come up with a name for those heating racks.
You said yeah.
Reverse freezer.
Yeah.
If they're all janky, if they're all busted, you kind of want to like.
Or if one like burns your hand.
Yes, yeah.
Is that
you're gonna have
too hot?
The bottom is gonna be like melted into the plastic.
Yeah, you pick it up, the thing just falls at the bottom. Don't need that.
They say if the chicken counter is overstocked,
Oh.
that means they're not moving.
Huh. I can't imagine that day. But okay.
Well, if the chickens are still available at closing time.
They basically just don't buy those.
Yeah, they've got the what's the closing time song playing? When you hear that song, If you hear that, don't buy a rotisserie chicken.
Chicken's not good anymore.
If the chicken has a reduced price, that means it's being moved for fast sale.
Huh.
And if you can't see the rotisserie cooker,
What? Really?
where's the cooker?
In the back, probably.
Yeah, because a number of the grocery stores I went to, you can't see the cooker the way I've thought I expected and I once remembered. So I don't know. It seems like they're hiding them.
What if it's a conspiracy and they're not even rotisserieing them anymore and they're just like,
Putting them in the oven or something. I've been suspecting or wondering that. I don't know.
Really?
oh my gosh.
I mean, do we think?
I mean, I don't know. There are definitely, can you see at Stater Brothers? Can you see the rotisserie?
Yes, I think so. The Stater Brothers, they've got like if it's not out front, you can definitely like peer through the window and like they're cooking a lot of stuff at our local Stater Brothers. They are doing fried chicken. There's a pretty big staff in the deli counter. Like,
Okay.
it's even if you can't specifically like see the chickens roasting out front, I have confidence that there's like a lot of movement
What
happening.
about bones? Do you think they're roasting them? They're rotisserieing them?
That's a different question.
I might have to check. I mean, I have faith in people. I don't think to question these things.
I mean, what if there's like a centralized facility and like they're roasting all of the Vaughn's chickens and then driving them out every few hours? I think it'd probably be easier to get the gear from Canada's own Hart Corporation.
I would think so. I don't think those sacks would last either.
Yes.
I guess he's
It
definitely.
disintegrate.
Yeah.
A friend of ours who works for a chain of rotisserie chicken restaurants in Los Angeles. It's called California Chicken Cafe. And yes, they're very popular rotisserie chicken. I think there's 12 of them now. And helping not getting anybody in trouble, through her, we become friends with the owner. And the owner was actually, he's a chicken magnate. He has made a ton of money selling rotisserie chickens. And it's a very good restaurant. I really like that restaurant.
You've done art. I've
done some art for them, yeah. And obviously friends with our friend is the architect, friends with the owner. We've partied we partied a lot together. We took a road trip together one time, so a good friend of mine, so take it all with a grain of salt. But he told me that at least the Gelson's rotisserie chicken, he said, that is a great chicken. If you can get them hot and fresh, that is a stellar chicken. This was 10 years ago at least, so take it all with a grain of salt. But he said, that's why my partner and I started going to the Gelson's to get the chickens. He's like, they're great. Get them hot and they're good, like within an hour of cooking. And it's a great deal. And don't buy anything else at the Gelson's because it's really expensive.
I'm curious about the Costco ones because based on everything I can read, they are top tier. But
I literally had a Costco chicken at a friend's house on Saturday. What is it today?
Monday?
2 days ago. Yeah. Yeah. And we talked about the chicken and that I was coming to do this and they were like, what are you doing? And I said, I don't really know. My friend said, come talk about rotisserie chicken. So thanks and it was delicious. I mean, we were there sitting around for a couple of hours before we broke into that sack. So bag.
And geographically, the closest Costco to your house got an hour plus away.
That's very true.
So did you get it? Was your friend in the area and they brought the chicken?
Yeah, they must have. I mean, his mom was in town, so maybe she went down and did the errand of bringing the chicken back. But it must have been, I don't know if they put it in the fridge and then reheated it. I have no idea. I didn't inspect the process.
You didn't see what the Costco chicken came in?
No, I didn't. I saw it just on the table presented to me.
according to rotisserie connoisseurs, they say that Costco has they even bought a chicken farm, and they take the size of the chicken and the quality of the chicken very seriously in a way that many of the supermarkets do not.
Fuck, that makes me so happy.
Yeah.
That makes me so happy because it's like so often I feel like I'm duped, nowadays. Like I really went in hard with the Costco chicken on Saturday was delicious. And I didn't want you to come in here and say like, well, Lyndie, that's because of the stuff they inject in it. But it's just a good chicken. And it tastes like that.
I have some Costco numbers. So I think it's still $4.99 at Costco. They still win them very cheap. Which I was looking at Kroger and they're up to about $9.99 at most other grocery stores. I don't know what the Bonds chicken
I think Bonds was cheaper, below 10, but maybe about 5.
Ralph's was pretty expensive. The organic was $11.50. The non-organic was like maybe $10.50. So they were both over 10.
I had the number, and I'm struggling to find my number in my notes, unfortunately.
It's insane to be able to pay $5 for a whole animal. Yes. You know what I mean? That just seems, we should not expect that.
All right, here's my number. Costco, the quote-unquote undisputed king of the rotisserie chickens, from the website The Hustle, says that they sold 87 million chickens last year.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's just the rotisserie. That's not like, chicken wings or whole chickens.
How much money did they lose?
It doesn't say. So it says they have 14% of the entire chicken market.
Holy.
They spent $300 million to build their own poultry processing plant. And Costco can keep them cheap because people pay them money to go. You can't be in a Costco unless you already gave them some money off.
That's true.
So they apparently lose about $30 to $40 million on chicken every year. And during the bird flu or whatever, a few years ago when chicken was a bit harder to get, they lost maybe double that because they had to pay more for chicken. So
they didn't raise the price.
Yeah, so Costco is not doing any, clever waiting to the last day sort of stuff. They're just cooking that chicken. They've not raised the price.
Wow.
So
it's incredible.
Yeah, chickens, rotisserie chickens, absolutely incredible. I want to ask you, you get a rotisserie chicken, Lyndie.
Uh-huh.
How is that? What is the life of that chicken once it gets to your house? You said you ate the wings first.
Did.
Oh, no, but, oh, yes.
That's just a joke.
But no, do you eat the whole thing? Are you saving some of it are you buying it with the intention of saving it for later? What does that household chicken buy look like?
Yeah, you know what? I don't think I've ever finished a chicken in one sitting. It's like no matter how many people are there, there's always some leftover the next day that's going in a sandwich or something, I don't tend to make broth out of a rotisserie chicken carcass. For some reason that icks me out. I will if I roast the chicken myself, but I won't on the store. But yeah, usually it is, it's coming home. It's, being made with either a simple salad or maybe I'll put some rice on, some wild rice or something like that. But usually the next day, sandwiches. My friend told me that her only experience she calls them beach chickens. She gets them to go to the beach.
All right.
Yeah.
And no sand in them, I guess.
I think sand's fine. You expect it at the beach. But
would you call your friend a chicken sandwich?
Oh, man. What did that one?
So, Adam, I have a question. It's a question for both of you, really. Uh-huh. But as somebody who's not really getting down with the chickens, when you get into a grocery store and they've got the rotisserie going on, how do you feel about the chicken steak?
Oh.
I don't love it, but I don't spend too much time in that area. So it's not a particular thorn. I just kind of walk past it.
The rotisserie chicken section, that's like the smoking section of Days of Yore. Yes, you can put all the chickens or all of the smokers in one spot, but it kind of infiltrates the whole joint, right?
Yeah. When you walk by there, you can definitely smell it.
Probably go nose blind to it.
Yeah, I mean that's really is honestly what I barely even register it as something to pay attention to. So I just kind of walk past it. Really.
All right, you're not getting knocked out by the heat emanating off of the reverse freezer full of the rotisserie chickens.
I will never go nose blind. You can smell. It's one of my favorite scents. Bottle that.
And I have a couple other questions. Okay, what other types of things could you the rotisserie chicken holds a unique place in the annals of grocery storedom because it's you can come away with a hot whole dinner. You don't have to talk to somebody. You don't have to some grocery stores have the fried chicken, and if you're getting fried chicken, you got to say, oh, can I get a pound of this? And maybe they'll say, oh, do you want potato salad? You can walk into a grocery store, grab the bachelor's handbag, and walk right out of it. I mean, obviously, you got to pay for it, but it's so in, so out. It's a hot food. It's one of the few hot foods I feel like you can really do that so quickly and so effortlessly without chatting with anybody else. Is there anything? I know that there's nothing that compares to that, but is there anything that possibly could compare to that? I mean,
taquitos and like hot dog things at gas stations.
Well, that's true. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes the hot dogs are on the rollers. At your finer gas stations, they're on the roller.
Yeah, you just go and the attendant has to.
Yes.
Oh, I just go in. Sit.
So I think the sushi bar is actually fairly comparable in that it is it's a spectacle that you walk past. You can grab something, you know it's going to be fresh. It catches your eye, and it's sort of the more the 10-year later version of the rotisserie chicken in the supermarket, in my opinion.
And I do like sushi from a grocery store, and we will be talking about that on a future episode. Guaranteed, on the list of future episode topics. So, kind of trying to put a pin in it.
Well, hold on.
Yeah, please.
I do want to ask, do we want to get heavy on some
Absolutely.
not fun sides of this?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we probably should. Hey, I don't want to, but
Yeah. So basically, I was led here because I was on an interesting article all about rotisserie chickens and all about Costco and Kenny Rogers roasters and all that kind of stuff. And from there was a specific chicken grower. I think it was called Mary's. I don't have it up right in front of me, but Mary Pittman of Mary's Free Range Chicken. And apparently their family, very similar to the Hart company, they made a chicken farm that was basically targeted exclusively or primarily to rotisserie chicken. So they basically they hit at the right time when culture was getting hot, and apparent by all accounts they've done very well. Now, there's also a lot of worker issues in terms of injuries, in terms of the way people are treated, in terms of pay, and lots of other things that you can imagine can go on in a factory type setting. And there's been a number of exposés about the working conditions at this both chicken farm and the processing part of it.
Processing plant's notorious for labor violations. Like one of the most dangerous and scary places to work, unfortunately.
Yeah, there's a lot of sharp knives. There's a lot of repetitive motions, which can be hard. And also there's been some unfortunate events where people have fallen into chicken waste, and died because it's basically toxic sludge. And I should say that during the initial months of COVID, meat processing plants were the number one spreading in terms of illness and death during that like pre-vaccine era of COVID. Mm-hmm. So if you look at the illnesses and deaths by industry, and you look in 2020, all of the meat and including the chickens are really bad in terms of numbers.
I mean, not to make light of it, but I mean, it is a factory where death is made. Like it's a death factory, right. And if you go to work in the death factory, there might be some bad consequences. And it's not to make excuses.
I thought you were going to talk about how the chickens are mistreated, and you.
Yeah, I didn't. I chose not to go too deep into that.
We'll save that for another episode. But as unfun as it probably is to work in a slaughterhouse, and again, lots and lots of problems, and all very well documented. If you have the taste for meat, it does look like a fun job to be the person at the grocery store who slides the chickens onto the big pole. That does look fun. It's like, the supersized Ron Popeil job where you just got to like line them up and get them on there, hook them on in.
Yeah.
That kind of seems fun. Doesn't seem too dangerous.
Yeah.
I wonder if there was ever someone that, had to crank the thing, or if it's always been.
They invented, they were really pushing these in 94. So maybe
the Hart Corporation already had.
Yeah.
Mechanical or electric.
Maybe if you go into the Ren Fair and they want to serve you the turkey legs, they've got like the guy and they're whipping him.
So another interesting thing is one of the rotisserie guys, I think he was working at KFC or maybe Kenny Rogers. He was inspired. He claims he was inspired by the Amish market, where
really
the Amish were roasting, and I don't know if this was manual, but I have a feeling that they were not using a Hart machine to do it. But they were had some sort of visual rotisserie setup going on, and he loved it, and that was one of his sources of inspiration. So
Yeah.
Do you think the Amish had like a donkey doing it? Like they just like put the carrot in front of the donkey?
Amish, they wouldn't pass off that
Okay.
labor.
They would take it upon themselves and build character by cranking the chickens by hand. Okay.
Yeah.
So just to, I guess, put a not a pin in it, but maybe a meat thermometer into the deepest part of the breast of our conversation here. Do you have a favorite rotisserie chicken from a grocery store? Swiss Chalet aside, like if you could pick any grocery store to get the chicken, are you saying Costco is going to be your favorite?
Yeah, especially after what we've learned tonight.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel affirmed in that.
And do you have any least favorites?
Um,
I've got a list of the worst. If we want to dig into I've got 5 to buy and 5 to avoid for Food Republic.
worst based on your account.
No, this is an article by Sam Schwab from Food Republic.
Okay.
5 grocery store rotisserie chickens you should buy and 5 you shouldn't.
I'm so curious. Okay.
I've never heard of Fresh Market. I don't know what region Fresh Market is, but they say that one's no good. They don't Winn-Dixie, which I think is a southern chain, but again,
Don't know.
not familiar. This is the one that I'm seeing a lot of.
Oh.
Walmart. People are really having a hard time with the Walmart rotisserie chickens.
Yeah, no.
Have you? I mean, there's a Walmart in your town, so
Big fucking Walmart.
have you, Jeff or Lindy? Have you tried that? Have you had it?
I have not. So I'm on a lot of social media sites and pages because I do the news locally here in Joshua Tree, and that's a really good source of tips. So I have been seeing a lot of people complaining about the Walmart chicken still being like pretty undercooked.
No.
You get them and they're like, you cut into them and they're like, oh, this is like still pretty pink, and that's alarming. And also, I don't know if I would be getting a lot of pre-cooked food from Walmart. I don't know if I want to be getting hot items from Walmart.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's every Walmart, but our Walmart does not seem like the most inviting place.
It is not.
Cooked food.
And we'll be talking a lot more about Walmarts in episodes to come because they're really making a big push into the grocery store. And I think them getting the rotisserie chickens is kind of them staking, a flag in the ground saying, we're just like a grocery store. We also have the hot chicken.
Gosh, just do it right. I mean, you could just time, surely there's a timer you could use. How are you sending out raw chickens?
I mean, things don't seem like they function super well at Walmart's. Like, if the lights aren't working or if it's kind of messy, maybe the heating implements in the rotisserie is not so good or whatever. Like, that's a place where like it's so big and so massive that I can see more things going wrong. There's more room for failure in a Walmart. So that's kind of how I can see that. I've seen the pictures of people like posting them on Facebook saying, look at this chicken that I bought. It's all nasty. So.
And not even one of the things that we were told to look out.
Well, you can't be going into the grocery store. I brought my chicken knife and I cut into the chicken thigh here at the grocery store before I take it home. Make sure it's cut correctly.
Yeah, that's true.
Would you return a ruined rotisserie chicken, Lindy?
I don't know.
I have returned stuff for the supermarket, but it always feels weird.
I'm a returner. If I buy spoiled meat or, if I undo that shrink wrap at home, especially with meat and it stinks, I've returned meat to every single grocery store in our community here. No doubt about it. But I wonder if the pre-cooked rotisserie chicken is kind of a different beast.
Too far. Yeah, I'm lazy. Yeah, that's what the rotisserie chicken was about in the first place. So to go back and return it just doesn't seem very likely for me. But I respect anyone who would.
Absolutely.
All right. The only thing I wanted to hit is I like a rotisserie chicken. I'm not doing it that much. My partner's more into roasting chickens these days. But as far as like pure like grab and go stuff, I'd like to start seeing rotisserie quails. I'd like to be able to just pop in and grab a little teeny tiny quail and like eat it in the car ride home with the little bones and a little napkin tucked under my
Paleo snack.
Exactly. Let's get some quails going. I would love some quails.
One of those little forks, you can for yeah.
But yeah, bring back the rotisserie quails. I'm ready for it. So, all right, we're wrapping up. It's kind of the end of our show. We do have a listener question. Are you all ready to tackle a listener question? And if you've got a listener question to send to us at the Cleanup on Aisle podcast, Adam, what's that email?
cleanuponailepodcast@gmail.com.
Fantastic. This question comes to us from friend of the podcast, Harlan in Landers. The question is, You've got 16 items. Are you hitting the express line? Kind of a moral quandary here from Harlan.
Oh, because it's 15.
Usually it's 15 at the express line.
No, I'm such a rule follower. I would definitely not go to the express line.
Well, the other thing is like, let's say you have 2 cans of the same tomato sauce. Is that 2 items or is that 1 item?
I think it counts as 2 items, but if it's fruit or produce, then it counts as 1 item. If you've got 2 avocados, they're weighing them together. It's the action of the cashier.
I
Yes.
see. Yeah. Now,
Swipe each way is 1 item.
even if it's like 14 items, I'm probably not going to the express lane, just in case someone looks in my cart and thinks, that's more than 15.
You would be that cautious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will absolutely go. I don't, even if it's 25 items,
See, this is the luxury, sorry to say, but of being a white dude.
Okay. It's white privilege.
Black girl in the desert. I don't need anyone looking at me funny. So I follow the rules.
Adam's a bit of a scofflaw. I've known him to be that way. And that's no one's going to throw you in jail. No one's going to cite you and release you outside of the Stater Brothers. I counted the items, sir. I actually do count my items if I think I might be close and over. And if I'm at 16, and I'm counting them as I'm putting them on the thing, usually because I will apologize to everybody in the line with me. I will say, I'm very sorry. I've got 17 items. I hope that you can forgive me. And that might be white privilege. That might be male privilege to be able to do that and to apologize.
do you really do that?
I absolutely do that.
Has anyone ever said, can you please go to the appropriate lanes?
I think, look, I make so much mistakes and bad decisions that I always find it's like easier to acknowledge them and apologize in advance before I get called out on anything. I'm an over apologizer for sure. So happy to be apologizing in the grocery store. Well, people maybe think it's like charming, and so you can kind of skirt by with a big goofy grin and being an awkward goofball like me.
My general rule is if it fits in the basket, then I'm not counting.
That makes sense.
It's a hand basket.
Baloney. I could fit 30 things into the hand basket. Absolutely.
And if you're straining in any way to like put the basket on it, then I call bullshit. No, but swing around.
All right. Well, I think that's the episode. Anything that you want to plug, Lyndie?
Plug.
Yes. Any of the projects you're working on?
Well, actually, I did just have a sweet little show come out, season 2 of a show called Good Grief, and it's on Out TV right now. So
awesome.
And it's really a delightful show, great for our times.
What's it about? Can you say?
It is about a grief group, an unlikely community that sort of revolves around that meets at a drag bar in Halifax. And
wow.
It's just a really lovely little show. Check it out.
All right. That's going to do it for us. Thank you, Lyndie, for joining us on Clean Up on Aisle podcast. Adam Fixton, I'm Jeff Harmetz. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week.